I'm walking in authority. I'm living God's plan for me. I'm a mother, daughter.
Thank you for tuning in to WDRB Media, the voice of the community. The only station giving you double the information and inspiration. You're listening to Total Woman, and I'm your host, yours truly, Pink Warrior. I know it's still early. It's really not lunchtime yet for some of you. So if you're at work, grab your headsets so you're able to listen to what we have planned for you today. Get your favorite drink, whether it be green tea, alkaline water, your favorite juice or smoothie. Sit back and relax and enjoy what we have for you today.
I am so excited about the show today. For this month, we've had the title of From Pain to Purpose. And I have interviewed and spoken to some amazing women. You know, we're all about inspiration and information on WDRB. But my guest today, her name is Shyondha Berry. And she was diagnosed with ductal carcinoma in 2014. So I've known her for 3 years, and she's doing some amazing things. She did not let cancer just jerk her around and tell her what she could not do. Well, hello, Miss Shyondha Berry.
Hey, girl. How are you?
I am doing well. I am doing good now because you're here, and we are going to listen to your story. And Shyondha is a teacher, and those kids really love her at Cotswold Elementary School. Shout out for Cotswold.
Whoop, whoop.
And you know what? She's going to talk. I'm going to hand her this mic because she does catering too. She started a Aunt G's Catering. Now, Shyondha, just tell us what's going on in your life now. What are you doing now? Let's start back from when you were diagnosed.
You know what? Actually, I'm going to even go back further than my diagnosis. I lost my mother to breast cancer as well. And so my story really begins, my breast cancer story begins with my mother. My mother was diagnosed in 1995. At the time, I was a college student. And I made the decision to take a break from school, of course, to see about Mama. And she fought for many years with breast cancer. She ended up having stage 4 breast cancer, so it had
metastasized. Yes.
It had spread to other areas in her body. So I lost her on January 3rd, 2006, after 11 years of fighting with breast cancer. But I continue to draw strength from my mother, although she's not here in her earthly body. So when I was diagnosed in March of 2014, I took my cues on how to deal with it from her.
Yes.
My mother was a very faithful woman. So I never worried about losing her because she never talked to me about losing her.
Right.
Because she continued to live her life up until she took her last breath. So I had no fear when the doctor told me, this is your diagnosis, because I don't receive fear.
Right.
I'm not a fearful person, especially with this situation, because I saw my mother be so strong.
Right.
So got my diagnosis and I'm like, what do we do next? Where are we going from here? And so there was treatment, radiation, chemotherapy, remove the lump. It was small. I found it myself because I'm very diligent about checking my breast. Did the genetic testing. I have the mutation on my gene that makes me more susceptible to breast cancer.
Right.
So go through all of the treatment, and luckily my chemotherapy was during the summer when I was not working, was not teaching, so I was able to just take care of me and go through that whole chemotherapy process. And school started. I had my last treatment at the end of August in 2014 and started radiation soon after. Had 33 treatments of radiation, and those ended in November 2014. So fast forward, here we are, 2017?
17, yes.
And I have continued to flourish, and my catering business is growing. And the catering business came, so this seed was planted in my head. My mother was a great cook. My grandmother was a great cook. I come from a long line of great cooks. And I remember one summer when I was in high school, my mother wasn't working, had been laid off from her job. And she's like, okay, I got to get some income going in this house. And so she was in the corporate world, and many of her friends worked in the downtown area. And she decided that she was just going to start cooking lunches and having her corporate friends come over for lunch. She was frying chicken and making fresh squash and banana pudding. I mean, so she's selling these meals.
Yeah.
And that kept us afloat for that summer.
Yeah.
So I said that to say, like I said, I come from a long line of hustling women and great cooks. So
yes.
So that's where the catering idea came from. And that was born even many years before I was even diagnosed with breast cancer. But since surviving that, I have taken it even more seriously and want to walk in my gift.
Right.
I got to a point last school year where I was miserable with my job, and I felt guilty because I felt miserable because I'm a teacher. You know, you're not supposed to not like teaching.
Right.
Because you're with these children and you're impacting their lives.
And they love you.
And they need you and they love you. So I'm miserable and I'm guilty about being miserable. And so I decided that I needed to, because misery and stress and all of that is a killer. It's a silent killer. And I'm like, I can't. Life is way too short for me.
And that stress, it helps that cancer grow.
Exactly. So I said, I cannot continue to be miserable in a job when I would sit at my desk in the morning when I would get to work, and all I could think about was recipes and being at home. I wish I was at home cooking right now. I wish I was doing this right now. So I went to, God said one morning, it was a Tuesday, and I had been battling and struggling back and forth with this about, am I going to continue to teach or am I going to step out on faith? So God said to me one Tuesday morning, and if you don't go and talk to your principal today, you'll never do it.
Right.
Today is the day.
Yes.
Or you will continue to be miserable and you will retire as a teacher because it's safe.
Wow.
That's safe.
Yeah.
It's secure,
Yes.
So I went to her, tears in my eyes. Talking about it now almost brings me to tears. But, and I told her how miserable I had been and that I needed to make a change.
Yes.
And I said, the change is going to be, I'd like to be a teacher assistant instead of a teacher next school year. Mm-hmm. I said, I want to work on my business, and this job is stressing me out, and stress is a killer. I go through all of that. And so she was very receptive and understanding, because that was another thing that was worrying me. Like, how is she going to receive this? And she was very receptive and very supportive of that decision and has continued to support me. So that's what I'm doing now. I am a teacher assistant. I keep my teaching license current just in case I decide I want to go back into the classroom. Yeah. And then I cater.
And what do you think you would be if you had not been diagnosed with cancer? where do you think you'd be right this
now?
day?
That's a good question, but probably still miserable.
Still in the classroom.
Still in the classroom. Because, like I said, even before I was diagnosed, every year I would say to myself, okay, when school starts in August, I would always say it to myself, this is my last year as a teacher. This is my last year in a teacher. And I continued to put that off, to put that off, to put that off. And my catering business had been pushed way, way on the back burner.
Right.
Way on the back burner. So I would probably still be miserable.
Let's talk about your little friend. Didn't you get a little puppy or something when you...
Yes. So when I was diagnosed in March of 2014, that May, I went down to Belmont and picked up Duchess. Duchess is my Jack Russell Chihuahua mix puppy.
Yeah.
Well, I say puppy. She's not a puppy anymore, but she thinks she's a puppy.
Right.
And that thing is crazy. But during my that summer of chemo and recuperating and just being at home and taking care of myself, Duchess was definitely a godsend. And she just would snuggle with me. And when I wasn't feeling well, she'd lick my toes. And I mean, you know, just poured love into me, not knowing that's what she was doing, because that's just what dogs do.
Wow.
You know, they love on their owners. But yes, Duchess definitely was one of the things that helped get me through that process. And she still does. She makes me laugh. She is so crazy. That Duchess, honey.
You know, I interview different women or talk to them, and they talk about a support system. Did you have a support system?
Definitely. It's so crazy. So when I was diagnosed, my plans were to work that summer and summer school. And even after I had that first chemo treatment, because my oncologist was like, oh, yeah, many people or many women, continue to work during chemo and this, that, and the third. I was like, oh, okay. So I had my first chemo on a Friday. Saturday morning, I got up. I'm like, okay, feeling good. I cleaned the kitchen, and I think I may have even cooked dinner. Sunday, still feeling good, but kind of, I can tell that something different is in my body by Sunday. And then by Monday morning, I could not move. I literally could not pick myself up out of the bed to shower and get dressed and go to work. So needless to say, I had plans to work, but that's not what happened. I ended up resigning from that summer school position and just staying home that summer. But my support system is amazing. I got a call from my principal maybe mid-July, and she said, I need you to come by to school. I have something for you. And at this point, I've resigned from the summer school position. I get there. She has an envelope for me full of cash and checks from parents and coworkers that had donated to me so that I could pay bills because they knew I wasn't able to work. And so support system, just amazing. That's just one example of how people just showed me so much love. You came with the basket of all the goodies, and even coworkers gave me scarves and hats and earrings so that I would still feel beautiful, even though I, lost my hair and was bald. And
you were so pretty bald. You were so pretty.
Once again, I draw that strength from my mother. She never was ashamed of her bald head.
Yeah.
And especially in the summertime, if, honey, she would not put on a wig, would not put on a scarf, would not even wear a hat. Like, she would just let that bald head just shine through and put her red lipstick on.
Earrings.
Yeah, put her red lipstick on and her earrings and put them eyebrows on and keep it moving. So, that's what I did. That's exactly what I did.
Do you see a change in your personality? Do you see a change in your appearance? I remember the first time I met you, you had long...
I had the braids.
You had the braids. You had the long braids. And I just thought you had the most sternest face. I was almost scared to give you the basket,
Really?
Yes. You didn't do a lot of smiling. And then by us being friends on Facebook, and you're also a member of our group called Thrivers, women who are going through cancer, been through cancer. And I began to see you blossom. I began to see this smile. Then I heard you coming up with Aunt G's catering. I saw a big difference. What do you think?
I would say a lot of people get that perception of me when they meet me first.
Right.
I'm not always, I'm going to just be honest. I'm not a people person. I am really not a people person. And it takes me a minute to open up
right.
to people and to show who I really am. I'm a very sensitive and kind-hearted person.
Yes.
But that does not show in my demeanor
right.
at all. And then you caught me at school. So that stern face, that's that teacher face. Right. That's that teacher thing, So, but I will say though, I feel like my personality has changed. I'm still stern. Mm-hmm. I'm still not open when it comes to meeting strangers. Right. I don't think is going to change. But I love harder now. Mm-hmm. I love harder. Yes. And I like I said, I'm a sensitive and kind-hearted person anyway, and I always have loved
hard. What does love harder mean? I know what you mean. I just want to hear you say it.
I meet people where they are and accept them there. And I want to pour into people the way that people have poured into me.
Right.
So, I have quite a few friends that have different autoimmune diseases and different things going on. And so this one girl that I'm friends with, she may say something on Facebook. She's not feeling well. She has a taste for something, whatever.
Right.
And I'll just show up with that thing or that item or that
gift. That's the gift in you.
I like to give.
Yes.
I like to give and pour into it. And it's just, I just said, because that was what God sent me when I was going through.
And you needed it.
When I needed it. And if I said, I want this, or I got a taste for this, or I want to read this book or whatever, it would just show up. Somebody would show up with it.
Yes.
And so I want to pour into people, especially women, but I want to pour into people in the same way that people poured into me and continue to.
And that's amazing because I think a lot of time us ladies that have been through that bout, through that horrible fight, people don't understand the fight because you say you love harder. I do everything harder. I love harder. I give. I forgive. I want to see everybody happy. I want to see everybody okay.
Yes.
You hear of a lady going through cancer. You want to make sure she's happy. You want to make sure she's getting the right foods.
That she feels pretty even though she does not have eyebrows and eyelashes and hair. Yes, I understand that completely. And you're right. I do everything. I would say I do everything harder. I would love to, there are lots of things that I would love to do more of I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I just got chemo brain.
Mm-hmm. And that's what our topic was 2 weeks ago. It's about that chemo brain. Because it's real.
Right.
It's real.
I look for words and I know what I want to say, but sometimes those words don't come to me.
It's a fight to get past that. It's so many things that we go through once we finish with cancer. People don't understand. They don't understand.
People don't understand.
Even though you say you're done with cancer.
Right. And the treatment,
they understand?
It never really ends.
It's like a poison being pumped in you for 6 months.
Right.
And people expect that when it's over, okay,
it's over.
Pop back, it's over.
Right. No, it's not over. I mean, even now, I mean, the medication that I take, that doggone tamoxifen, girl, them hot flashes, them hot flashes, not sleeping well at night.
Right.
So it's an ongoing battle. It doesn't just end when chemo ends, or it doesn't just end when radiation ends, or after you have surgery and you're healed from it. It doesn't end. This is a continuous thing.
And you know what, LaShonda, women have to move on, and everybody's not thinking like you. There are some women that cannot get
up and stay stuck there.
I talked to women who had cancer 15 years ago,
Wow.
and they stuck.
Wow.
They don't feel that they can start a new life.
Right.
They don't think, because I tell you, you got a different look.
Right.
You just
right.
It's not that you weren't pretty then.
Right.
You just have that beautiful, it's a glow on you. Yes. And they stay stuck. They don't want to change their hair. They don't want to change the way they dress. They don't want to go out and have some fun. Because, honey, I can wear a second out, a minute, an hour, a day.
Right.
It's a good life.
Yes.
It's what you make it.
Yes.
So what I want you to do now as you close, I just want you to talk to the ladies in the audience that are going through cancer or have been through cancer. What's your advice to them? How to hold on to get to a Aunt G's catering,
or just to pick up the pieces of where their life was. For one, you have to find your new normal, whatever that is. You have to work on finding your new normal. And I did a lot of praying and soul searching to get to the point where I am now. So search your heart, pray, and ask God to reveal to you what is my purpose, because it became really important to me to walk into my purpose after I was diagnosed. And whatever your gift is, ask God. If you're not sure what it is, ask God to reveal that to you.
Yes.
What is my gift? What is my purpose? What should I be doing at this stage in my treatment? Okay, I've gone through the chemo. I've gone through the radiation. I've had surgery. I need to pick up the pieces and find my new normal. Lord, what is that?
Yes.
Search your heart and ask for God to guide you.
Yes.
And be willing to move your feet when he says to go.
Oh, I like that. Be prepared.
Be prepared. Just like you were telling me before this interview, be prepared for anything. That morning when God spoke to me and said, you need to talk to your principal today or you won't do it. Imagine if I had not been obedient to him telling me to do that. I would be still miserable, stuck in that job that I did not really enjoy as much as I used to, and not walking in my gift. So yes, I would say, definitely find out what your gift is, pray and ask God to reveal to you your purpose. Because once I think that's where my glow comes from now, because I am walking in my gift and my purpose. So
well, Miss LaShonda Berry,
I thank God for
we have enjoyed just talking with you today, learning so much about you. You've given so much positive information. And I just want my audience to know that we will be posting pictures of LaShonda and some of her favorite recipes, just to let you see who she is and what she do. But LaShonda, thank you so much for joining us today.
And I thank you for this opportunity to tell my story.
And it's a great story. Until then, we'll see you on next week. Join us each Thursday morning at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on WDRBmedia.com, the voice of the community, for double the information and inspiration. Check out our Facebook page for Total Woman, where we will post a broadcast if you miss it. Email me at totalwoman63@gmail.com if you have comments or questions. If you would like to be a sponsor of this broadcast, send me an email or inbox me on the Total Woman Facebook page. Make sure you have given your best today, because your best is all that you owe. God bless you.